to, oh, he's got it. Okay. Heather's already on it. Thank you all so much. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for being on. I feel like we're going to have to maybe have a part two of this because I have so many notes and I know you guys do too. I thought we would probably stay away from the market update and hit the CEO summit, some of the other speakers, because I'll do a complete like full slides market update separate. That can be like a whole hour in itself. So if that's okay with you guys, Josh and Dylan, we'll kind of take it from the top and hit high level. But thank you all so much for being on. If you were able to be at Mega Camp, you will know that it was amazing. If you weren't, which is probably most of you, I hate to give you FOMO, but I will say this is my 10th or 11th Mega Camp, and by far my favorite content that we have ever had. I don't know if it was just timely or the speakers were just so incredible this year, and it was so great. So lots of great takeaways. But let's start with the CEO summit. We didn't really have an orchestrated fashion to this. I just thought we'd hit our big takeaways. And the CEO summit, for those of you who have never attended, it's the day before Mega Camp starts. Gary and Jason and Jay usually bring up like really relevant experts in the industries that are happening in the current landscape. So that part was really good. We had a few different speakers. We had Liz Bohannon, Dr. Josh Axe. We had Julie Holmes, who wrote the AI book 101 Plus Tips. And then we had Ryan Leake, who was awesome. So Josh, do you want to kick us off with a couple of your big takeaways from CEO Summit?
Yeah, one of the big ones I had from CEO Summit was Liz Bohannon, and I don't know, it may just be me too. I'm on this kick where in this market, agents really have to go out and perform. Like it's not just going to be handed to you like it has been the past 5 years. And one of the things she said was initiative, and it was if you want it, you have to go do it. You have to prioritize it and then build it. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes we forget that, we do have a job. It's not just showing houses and, helping people sell their homes. It's that we're running a business and we have to treat it like a business.
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. Actually, Liz is in my high capacity leadership group with John Maxwell, so I get to know her personally, and she is like so good. One of the best of the best. She is awesome. Dylan, anything from Liz that you got?
Yeah, I was the same thing. I think a lot of times, Dana, is like people on this call or people in this industry, or I know there's some team leaders and OPs and agents like all around. But I think a big thing that we do, kind of going off what Josh says, is I think sometimes we don't prioritize it or we don't build it. Like we all, as like, the one percenters most of the time in this industry, somebody who's on this call at this time learning, we just want the result. And because things were so, and we don't mind to do the work, but are we prioritizing it, educating first? Or because sometimes I'm guilty of just like running at something head on and just like, oh, I got this, I got this. But like he said, educate, prioritize, and then successful in it. And I think just having your priorities lined out when you're tackling a new adventure and making sure you're prioritizing the right opportunities and those kind of things is something I had to kind of sit back and like, it's the CEO summit. So like as operating like a CEO, I had to
Yeah.
like write down and say like, what opportunities do I need to prioritize right now, and then attack those first. I think was the takeaway for me on that one.
Yeah, so good. Another thing Liz said that I loved was, and this applies to everybody on the call, she said, find a great peer group first when you want to get into community and get with some peers on your same level, which I thought was really good because a lot of times as a top producer, as a leader, in a lot of the roles that you all are in on the call, sometimes I think we have a tendency to want to communicate with people that are selling less than us, or maybe are in roles that we are supposed to be leading. And basically, what she was saying is like you need to find some peer to peer, like people at your equal level that get where you're at and what you're doing, and then go all in with them to create that community. And I think that's so smart. That's something that's been very beneficial for me over the years. But she said people who are in your world, but they aren't in your world. So like for example, on here, if Emily, if you were to go get in a peer-to-peer group with a couple people from different, sorry, something just fell. That was loud. I don't know what that was. Hoping it wasn't my dog. Anyway, if you were to go get in a peer group with somebody from Kentucky and somebody from Cincinnati and somewhere, because they're in your world, but they're not like in direct competition with you. And I thought that was really good when she said that.
Yeah.
Andrew said are also one level up. Yes, yes, love that. So smart.
Yeah, I was going to say, make sure that you throw in that part of or one level up, or some of these people on this call are going to excommunicate me out of their communications. So like, I don't need being taken off Josh and Andrew Pelini's group text. So you just make sure you throw that or one level up part.
That's right. There we go. Okay, next was Josh Axe on the health front. I could talk about this all day. Actually, Linda and I did a podcast episode that's going to come out about Josh Axe, I think maybe tomorrow, and all the takeaways that we had. But anything that you guys wanted to share from the health perspective when it came to Dr. Josh Axe?
I could go on for days and days about this too. So, because I'm going through it all right now. So with our kids, now you start to look at ingredients and you realize just how much crap is in the actual food.
Yes.
But then also the different things he was talking about with like cancers and stuff like that going through with my mom right now. So learning all about those different kinds of things, I think is fascinating to me.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Dylan, I
You
know
know-
Dylan, we got back and Dylan, tell him what you texted me that you and Lauren did.
I hired a personal trainer. So I think that, Dana, this is a big portion of it. I know we can easily like skip over stuff. I don't want to sound like this person that's just saying that playing the same fiddle all along. But I think as high functioning individuals, it's easy to forget about the taking care of your body, taking care of yourself. Like, oh, let's run through a drive-through. Let's get carry out. I got 72 houses to show, and all I have time for is this Diet Coke I picked up at the gas station. And I think if going to the CEO Summit and really trying to elevate your thinking, I think if you want to function at the highest level and you want to be able to go with longevity and make the right decisions, it just made me realize the continued importance on taking care of ourselves, taking care of our body, making sure it's fueled, making sure it's rested, making sure every aspect of our life is taken care of. Because I'm just going to be honest, high functioning individuals, most of the time, that's the part they're forgetting. And I think that we have to be cognizant of that. And I'll just be real. This is something I haven't struggled with. Me and my wife do no gluten, no pork, no sugar, no processed foods in our house. And the last month and a half, I had kind of forgotten about that stuff for the first time in years. And I mean, I've had health issues for the last month and a half. I've been not myself, not performing at the same level I always have. And it was a good reminder for me. This morning I went on a run. This morning I changed my diet. This morning you know what I mean? I ate different over the weekend. Like, I got back to being just insanely strict on myself, because I look back at the times I'm functioning the best is when I'm taking care of myself the most. And I'm not saying we can't ever have something that we don't enjoy, but I do think we have to have parameters, and we have to incorporate this into our daily lives just as we do the work portion of it, or we're not going to be highly successful.
Well, Dylan, that's so spot on. And any of you that have ever had a health challenge, like if you don't have your health, I mean, what does it even matter how much money you have or how great your house you live in or anything else? Like it's no fun to not have your health, right? There were just a couple tactical things that I wrote down just for any of you that want to geek out on it, that love him. He said that the quickest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not quickest, but the best 5 things you can do if you are trying to get healthy. Number 1 is make sure you are drinking filtered water, like hands down filtered water. There's so much junk in our water, bacteria, all kinds of stuff these days. Number 2 is only grass-fed organic beef. That's a huge one. They pump so much hormones into the, meats now that if you aren't eating grass-fed, like that's it. Number 3, this to me is the hardest one. And that's switch to all non-toxic products, cleaners, personal care, makeup, all the things. And that, by the way, is a spiral that I'm currently spiraling down. Very much so. Baby steps, like one thing at a time. Chris, the seed oils. Oh my gosh, Linda brought me Okay, well, that kind of goes with the next one, which was no, I'm sorry. Number 4 was ditch plastic, like use glass and stainless as much as you can. Many of you know that I stopped drinking bottled water, like plastic bottled water, a year and a half ago, unless it's like a super emergency and I'm dying of thirst and that's all they have. But plastic, no bueno. And then the last one was eat the organic dirty dozen and or like cut the seed oils. And Chris, Linda McKissick brought me, whenever we see each other, we always bring each other like goodie bag of the things that each of us are into at the time that we want the other to try. And she brought me a bag of those masa chips. I keep getting like a ton of Instagram ads for them. They are insane. They are so good. They have no seed oils. So I just, by the way, they're like $11 for a bag of chips, which is nuts. But I actually just went on and ordered those. Yes. Oh my gosh. They are so good. But he said the eating organic dirty dozen was like if it has a peel on it or a skin, then it doesn't need to be, you don't necessarily need to really buy organic. But if it doesn't, and it's like a berry, strawberry or something that you're gonna eat, like that needs to be organic. So anyway, there were
Dana, I think on that, for me, people can hear that and get overwhelmed, like, oh, I got to go clean out my thing. I think let's all be real. We're all high functioning individuals in this room. You got to do what works for you. Maybe you need to slowly work this stuff in. And
Yep.
people say that like, oh, slowly work things in, make small changes. Well, for Dylan, that doesn't work. I'm all in or I'm all out. Like that's my personality. So when I got home, we cleaned out the fridge, went to the grocery store, boom, boom, boom. Like I'm no longer missing one day of the gym. Like I don't take off days because like when I'm in it, because I'll if I'm taking one off day, I'm taking 6. Like that's so you have to find what works for you and make those adjustments was what I had to figure out. But you have to do what works for you. Maybe you do need to just cut out soda and then slowly cut out other things. But I think the main takeaway for me was take care of yourself. Like take
Yeah,
care
totally.
of yourself.
Yeah, and to your point, Dylan, so at first I wondered why there was a health expert at the CEO summit. I'm like, what does this have to do with real estate or business?
Yeah.
But really you have to treat it just like a job. Like you have to prioritize it. And you have to focus on it too. A lot of times we want something. So you look at somebody who has a 6-pack of abs and you're like, man, I wish I had that. Well, that person worked day in and day out for that. And it's no different doing that with your health, but then also relating that to your business too.
Yeah, so good. By the way, last thing on this, I'm curious if anybody's done this, let us know in the chat, but I'm currently trying to find an acupuncturist to go find my path, is what he called it, where they use your pulse and look at your tongue and they give you like your digestive path or something. So anyway, I'm anxious. Me and Linda are both going to do that. So I'm like trying to figure that out. Andrew said I had a 6 packs once in my life. Is not, yes, 90. It is. It's a lot of what you eat. Absolutely. Okay. Next was Julie. Okay. And do we just want to pause here? Actually, do we want to just have a quick AI? Because I mean, I feel like it goes like 75% of Mega Camp for me was AI, which was amazing. I don't know if you guys, so we can talk about Julie and then do we want to just kind of to give some of our biggest AI takeaways too?
I don't know what you want, Dana, but maybe do we want to talk about Ryan Leak and then go into just AI in general? Because I feel like this AI
That's a
portion is going
great
to be
idea.
this AI is going to be 35 minutes of this. I mean, like,
and I hope you all really pay attention to the AI because wow, I'm like mind blown. Okay, yeah, let's go Ryan real quick. Ryan was just lights out. You all, if you're not following Ryan Leak on social media, definitely go follow him. Dylan, you want to go first with Ryan?
yeah, I think for me, Ryan Leak was one of the last speaker. He was the keynote at the CEO summit and was just phenomenal. He said he learned more chasing failure than he ever did chasing success because he said even if it wasn't an thing that he didn't necessarily know if he could achieve and he didn't, which was make an NBA roster, but he learned so many things of trying his hardest to make it there that set those goals and do everything you can. And what you're going to do is like success is going to be a byproduct along the way, or lessons learned are going to be a byproduct along the way. And he also talked about just intentionality. The thing that got it for me. So like my agents on here are probably going to see this not tomorrow, but maybe in the next sales meeting of like, I think if we live with extreme levels of gratitude, things will come back to us. He literally talked about a high school teacher that introduced him to somebody that introduced him to somebody that introduced him to somebody and went like 9 layers down. to that's how he got to being on the stage at Mega Camp. And sometimes, so we can't take any interaction for granted. Like, be present, be in the moment, live with gratitude. And I think the biggest, just like quick tip I learned from Ryan, whenever you ask somebody how they're doing, ask them twice. I'm going to start living by that. When you say, walk up and say, hey, how you doing? They're going to say, I'm doing good. How about you? Then stop and go, no, hey, how are you doing? And then they'll give you a real answer. And live with that intentionality. Don't just do it to prove to them that you care, but like do it because you actually care, and like live in that intentional purpose was the biggest thing for me. Like, I just, my whole thing was like, instead of a quick text, can I do a voice recording? Can I do a video? Can they figure out a way for them to hear it in my voice? Like, I need to figure out in everything that I do, how do I take another step to be intentional, to show people that I care?
So good. Yep. Josh?
I'm not gonna lie, I did not take any notes with Ryan. That's because I was actually like too mesmerized by the actual presentation to like stop and take notes.
I
But
honestly,
my
Josh, I'm a huge note taker, and I noticed that too. But then I went back and it was because I had so many pictures on my phone because his slides were so good that I was like snapping picture. But I mean, he's just such a great presenter. I don't know. I mean, more than a speaker, like he kind of
yeah,
captivates you. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. But my big overarching takeaway was to just do it. Like Nike, he brought that up several times.
Yep.
Like we just have to go out and do it. Um, and I think it was him who said, go first. Don't wait for somebody else to make the call. So just go again, back to the just do it. Go and do the things that you know you're supposed to do.
Yep, I love that. You guys said a lot of it. The other two maybe that you didn't say that I loved was he said everyone should ask the question, what's it like to be on the other side of me? It's a really great awareness question, and he basically said that all of us could name or somebody that we either currently work with or have worked with who isn't self-aware. And so he said that we should all, and so a lot of you, for like those of you that are realtors on the call, that would maybe even be your clients or your other real estate peers, that you co-broke with. Those of you that are in leadership, it would be the people that you lead. But what's it like to be on the other side of me? And he said, really asking yourself that, and maybe even being so bold as to ask other people that question also, so that you can be self-aware and really grow. And then you said, I think Dylan said, the chasing failure took me further than chasing success ever did, right? Yeah, okay, I loved that. But what he said before that was that we all need to we need to be encouragers of doing more things that scare us. So that he said, ask yourself, what would I do if I knew that I couldn't fail? And like, what would you really do if you knew that you weren't going to fail? What would you really do? And he said, that's when he said, Nike, just do it. But then he said, encourage means that you put courage into someone else. And because courage is a part of the word encourage. And so he said, think about how often, like, are you encouraging others to do things, and you're instilling courage into them, but also like, then how often do you do it for yourself, or how do you feel for yourself? Like, are you actually taking risks or doing things if you weren't afraid to fail that you would do? So I thought that I loved him. He's so great. Oh my gosh, he's just the best.
Yeah, and I loved how he explained. For those who don't know his background, he proposed to his wife in a day, and then that blew up, and he got on one of the talk shows, and then eventually Kobe Bryant, his wife got Kobe Bryant to reach out to him, so he got to spend the day with Kobe Bryant. And he's a taller dude, so he was excited. He was like, "Well, I need to work out because I'm going to make the NBA." So he actually emailed every NBA franchise and told them, "Hey, come have me for a tryout. I'm ready to fail. I don't think, who knows if I'm going to make it, but I'm feeling like failing today, and that's the worst thing that's going to happen. You let me have a shot," kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things where it's like, what is the worst thing when you make a phone call or when you reach out to a lead or a past call? What's the worst thing they're going to do to you? Hang up on you? Like, go on and make your next call. We get the calls all day long. The insurance people calling left and right. And when they call us and you hang up on them or you say, no, you're not interested, 5 minutes later, do you remember that person's name or who it was who actually called you? It's no different for us when we're calling leads.
Yeah, so true. Dylan, I'm so jealous you got a picture with him. I wanted to so bad. And I was like, oh man, well, if I didn't, at least you did. One of us did.
Sorry that I got up out of the video for a second. I normally would never do that, but Andrew, Polini, Josh, you'll get this. Dana, you'll get this. If I got other team leaders, I had an agent that has been talking about switching to us that I had no idea was in our office. Just walked and knocked on my door and said, opened the door and said, "I'm ready to switch." I had to get up, so I was like, "Yes, okay, I'll be right back." So sorry about that.
That's
I was
okay.
not trying to be rude.
I had to get up for a way less important reason, and that is Frankie had to go to the bathroom. So
Yeah.
you saw me
So
walking.
I just had to make sure that my MCA was taking care of him. So
No problem. Okay, next. So before we get into AI, I will tell you, I always come back and do the full market recap of all the market update slides. I'll be doing that either, I think it's going to be the first week of September. So not next week, but the next week, because I like to really deep and prep and do it the beginning of the first week of September. But the one thing that he did say in the market update that I just wanted to go ahead and share with you today, because I think it's timely, is that right now comfort is the most important thing across the board for buyers. And I heard that kind of as a continual theme, but they want to be comfortable. I think people are just so sick of being uncomfortable and for the last several years that right now buyers want to feel comfort from their agent. They want to be in a comfortable situation with their transaction. There was just a lot of talk around comfort is the most important thing across the board for buyers. And I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you all now, and then I'll get deeper into it in the market update. But I thought that that was interesting because it hasn't been that way the last couple of years. It's been so speed, like everything has been so speed focused that I feel like we just haven't even had time to think about comfort, and now that's back for our buyers. So next up is AI, and yeah, we may spend a bulk of a minute on this because it was a lot. And shoot, I meant to show you the book. I'll put the link in the chat for you for the Julie Holmes book that she shared. I actually knew about it before she spoke at the CEO Summit because Gary Keller had emailed or text or something that it was the book that he was reading and was on his nightstand, and that it was the #1 book he was into right now. So of course I ordered a copy for Adam and I. And it is all about prompts and AI and everything, but she was awesome. So I'll find the link for the book, but will one of y'all kick us off with some things that you got from Julie, and then we can go into Marcus, who was my absolute favorite.
Yeah, real quick. One of the big takeaways I had was, so it was all about AI, a lot of it, but they always brought it back to how you have to be human. We can't just rely on AI and technology. You have to be human, and everything kind of circled back with that.
Yeah, that was a huge one. I'm glad you actually said that. I had that on my list too.
I think that's the biggest thing for me is that I learned from her is just simply the thing of like, what are we doing to make sure that AI is leveraged? She used the term "you do you," which is what we do, what we let AI do, and then what we do again. Of literally, AI is enhancing our processes, making our lives easier, making our jobs more effective, but it is actually providing opportunity for us to become more intentional, more human, because it's taking things off our plate. And then it gives us more time to go be more personable. If we're using AI to not be personable, that's the problem. What it needs to be doing is leverage to make us more personable and let us find our unique talents and abilities to get to where we need to get to make our business thrive at a higher level.
Yep. Yep. She said 75% of professionals now would raise their hand and say that they lack confidence in AI when it comes to AI. 75% of professionals would say that they are not confident using AI in any sort of way. But she said AI is a people first initiative. So kind of Dylan, what you just said, or Josh, sorry, I think you said the human thing. But she said that she kind of went through and gave all these little exercises, but she basically said it was, did you just say this, Dylan? Sorry, I was putting the chat in the chat. It was the 20-60-20 equation. Did you share that? Okay.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah, you do you. Yeah. So 20% you lead the way, 60% AI does the work, and then 20% you come back and add the human. Yes.
Yes.
And I thought that is such a great way to look at it, because I can just tell when people well, for one, I can tell when people copy from Chat GPT, and because they leave the Chat GPT prompts in there and take it straight to their social media.
Or they don't turn the italicize off that
Yes, or
ChatGPT
they-
leaves.
Yes, yes. And I'm like, oh man, like cool that you used it, but like now everybody knows that you used it instead
But
of
Dana, but what people can't tell is like on the Instagram videos I've been doing lately that AI wrote the script and like I threw it on top of a teleprompter that's on top of my camera recording me, right? They don't see that aspect because they see me talking to them.
yeah,
So for an instance of me, instead of me taking 78 takes on an Instagram reel or a video, I'm taking one take because I talked to AI for 1 minute. It printed me out a script. I copy and paste it, put it on an AI teleprompter that comes across my screen and puts it right below my camera. You don't see that it's still the human aspect. It's still what Dylan thinks. It's still what Dylan thinks. It's still what I'm trying to tell you, but you also see me. And
yeah,
like, that's not saying, oh, look at me. That's just trying to give you an example of how do we take the AI, utilize it to save myself. I'm not sitting there thinking of 75 million things to say. I know what to say, but I'm also not copying and pasting an AI email that they know I spent 4 minutes on. You know what I mean? Of just an AI prompt of 30 seconds. Like I took the time. So I think that that's the big thing of how are we enhancing the personal level of it?
yeah. Well, and okay, and to your point, one thing that I just found that I wrote down was she said, AI is your new intern, not your assistant. So she said, like an assistant, you'd be like, do this, do that, show me this, show me that. An intern, you would be like, okay, let me show you how I like for it to be done, or let me teach you this, and then now you shadow me and watch. And that was just a really good visual for me. I don't know if that helps anybody else, but I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like you're really kind of guiding it, because what Andrew said in the chat is so true. As your AI gets to know you, it will help you recognize your value prop to clients, blind spots to you, as well as help you see your weaknesses to leverage your talent. Like that's so true. The more that you treat it like an intern and it gets to know you, then it actually comes back and helps you with things. And I never
How
like,
does that work?
oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, was there a question? Okay. Just unmuted. That's okay. I put there. Okay, hold on. Sorry, y'all. Heather had to hop off, so I'm trying to be Heather too. Hold on, hold on. I don't see who's unmuted. Oh, yeah, I do. iPhone 8. Got him. Okay. I put 2 links in the chat. The first one is her actual book, but then she also made one that's just Realtor specific. So that's the second link in the chat that you can have for her book also. But yeah, she was I thought she was going to be over my head, but I actually learned quite a bit, and I thought it was really good.
Somebody asked how that worked, Dana, of the AI getting to know us.
Yes.
I think going in to if you guys are using ChatGPT or Gemini, I think going into your settings and to your profile and giving it I know we're going to get scared here when I say this, giving it as much information as you possibly can, it will know you better. Like, and I know you wouldn't think it, but then also with the conversations you have with it, you need to give it opportunities because it does memorize everything. Like, how does that work? Like, I've had so many things where I said, "Hey, can you do this for me? I'm a Keller Williams team leader." It knows now. It doesn't know that it doesn't. I don't need to prompt it anymore. It knows I'm a Keller Williams team leader. It knows what the roles of a Keller Williams team leader is. Have conversations with AI about what you do. Tell it when you want it to memorize something. Hey, I really like for my things to be faith based. Please remember that. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds crazy, but talk to it like you would an intern. Like I know it's not human, but it needs to be told what you like. And it's that you got to prompt it. The more you prompt, the better you get.
Yep. So true.
Yeah, and for everyone who's afraid to do that or thinks like the internet's coming after us, it already knows everything about you anyways. If you're doing your job the way we should be doing it and posting and doing all the stuff, it already knows. So you might as well just embrace it and use it to your advantage.
I think I told some of y'all this, but Adam was asking his Chat GPT a question, and then he said something about, I think he must have asked something about me, but he said my wife, and it came back and said the perfect thing for Dana to do would be blah blah blah, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, how does it even know my name? But it is. I mean, they know, right? And it's kind of scary. But I will say, and we can go deep into Marcus because he was awesome. But I I only started using ChatGPT like maybe beginning of this year. I was a little behind the curve because I was kind of like, okay, this is like kind of freaks me out. Where my husband has been using it nonstop. He's obsessed. And Adam really was the one who challenged me and said, I think that you should ask it something just like once a day so you can get it in the groove and see. And I have used it a lot more over the last couple of months, but after leaving last week, I'm so all in. I'm like, I have been missing so much by not using it for leverage like I should be using it. Um, and just time saving on certain things. I'm like, wow, why have I been spending all this time doing this when I could have been using AI to do it? So, yes, Ruth, and Ruth has told me this so many times, and I take her classes and just still don't implement it. So now I'm like, okay, I got to get better. But she said you can build all of that into the bio setting, and it's great. You can also create categories of projects so you can pick up where you left off. I've recently learned how to do that, Ruth, and I have all my different projects in there and it's been a game changer. Yes, I know you'd be so happy. Oh, Grok. Okay, Chris said he uses Grok.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I use Grok as well. I use because it's Twitter. Twitter owns that one, and I have to use it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And guys, another thing you can do that I've realized recently, a lot of people say, "Hey, I do a marketing plan," and I just tell it to build me a marketing plan. Well, what I did was is I sent it my Instagram and sent it my Facebook and sent it my Twitter and said, "Now you see what style I like to post in. Now build me a marketing plan."
Yeah, so good.
Send it the links to my Instagram, send it the links to my Facebook, the links to my Twitter, and then analyze the way I like to post, and then built it from there.
Yeah, and a plug for our class tomorrow at CE, but we have Taylor and Harper coming in to teach how to use AI for your marketing for just that kind of thing, Dylan.
That's so
12
good.
o'clock, snacks provided, and CE.
If you're in Columbus, you need to come. Okay. Next, we had a guy by the name of Marcus Sheridan, and he wrote a book called Endless Customers. And he's also known as the Pool Guy. And he was hands down my absolute favorite of the entire week. Like, just so good, so smart. I mean, I have so many notes from him, and I have a picture of basically every slide on my phone. But just to set the tone for him, what he said made so much sense to me from the very beginning. He said, what mattered to us before, so just say us as a realtor, right? Were customers and search engines. So, like what our clients in our database say about us, and then what our search engines say about us, which were, let's just say, Google or, whatever you use. But then he said, what matters today is what our customers say about us, what the search engines say about us, and what AI says about us. Thank you, Joan, for being on. Thank you. And he said that what matters tomorrow, they believe, is just going to be the customers and the AI. So, like, I mean, which this was interesting because, yes, totally, yes, Andrew, I love that part about him. What I thought was really interesting, like, because right after him, the Gemini lady spoke from Google, but it was interesting to hear Marcus say what he believes is that the search engines are almost going out over the next year to 2 years, I think he said time frame wise, because more people, instead of Googling something, they're asking ChatGPT. And honestly, that's like what I'm doing. And I'm not even near what some of these, like the level of some of these people are. But when we were going to San Antonio, I really wasn't wanting to get off of my health regimen. So when I was on the plane, I asked ChatGPT, like, here's my hotel. Can you find the closest Whole Foods? And how many miles is it? Like how far, where normally I would go to Google for all that stuff, but I even find myself asking ChatGPT now. So he said the bottom line is that if AI isn't recommending you, your brand and your business will be in trouble because people are going to AI to see who they recommend over going to they're still going to Google, but they're starting to move more towards AI. Josh and Dylan, am I saying that right? I think that's how I
Yes, and then the lady from Gemini reinforced what he said. And for the people that, and I talked about this on our team on our Rainmaker Zoom, the people who are staying on Google are now really no longer getting their answers from Google. Gemini is popping up before the stories and giving them an AI overview of what Gemini thinks. So even the people who are going to Google are getting their answers from Google's version of AI. So he said, there's so many AI platforms, but what you have to do is start to see how you can get recognized by ChatGPT and Gemini. Like that's because I know a lot of times we go through these whole hour and a half hour lesson plans and it's easy to get 30,000 feet. But like my biggest takeaways are, what am I going to do to get like when people say, what real estate brokerage should I join for a team leader? How do I get Google or how do I get Gemini and ChatGPT both to sing Keller Williams Legacy Group? If I'm a real estate agent listening to this, my biggest takeaway would be, how do you get ChatGPT and Gemini to say, Dana Gentry needs to be my realtor if I'm moving to Richmond, Kentucky, because those are the two biggest platforms being used right now.
Yeah, and it's almost going, so we're going futuristic with AI, but we're going 20, 25 years backwards in how it actually works. So like if you could go back to the early 2000s when Google and search all came out and become a company that could take off before SEO became a real big thing, that's where we're going back to now with AI. So where search and Google and all that scrubbed websites and looked for keywords and things like that, that's now what AI is doing. It's eliminating all the SEO and paid ads and all that kind of stuff, which I think is great because I think people are tired of that. They want the answer and they want to know who's the best, not who paid for, to their website to pop up first.
Yeah.
And Dana, I think the biggest thing is not just because, let's be honest, let's be honest, people aren't probably going to text ChatGPT all the time. They may and say, who do I use as my realtor? But what he said is the thing that he lives by is they ask, you answer. You need to be finding ways on YouTube, in blogs, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, or X, the questions that they have, so that ChatGPT knows to answer that. So like so-and-so expert said this. For instance, he said, you need to make sure that you're talking about problems and negatives. You need to be talking about cost and price. You need to be talking about comparisons. You need to be having people leave reviews and best ofs. You need to be having best practices to do when you're getting into this business. So when they ask those questions, it could say, Dana Gentry, real estate expert, says this is the best area to live in Richmond. Not you need to be doing the Google reviews, those things that make the fast experts, that makes it say Dana Gentry is the best realtor to use in Richmond. But also, what are the 5 or 6 big things that you're going to be an expert on, so that it says expert says this, then they go to you, because we have to be recognized by AI or we're going to get left behind.
Yeah, totally. He said, yes. Okay. So he said, your goal is to become the most known and trusted brand in your market, period. And then you want humans and AI to know that and to recommend you both. So Don said, did he say how AI learned who is an agent to recommend? So Dylan just touched on that a little bit, and I'm going to go deeper, and then we're going to give you a good, actually, I'm going to give you a secret that I got in my top mastermind with Gary Keller that Eric Forney told me. But so it's exactly what Dylan just said. You have to be able to go out and get your content consistently on those platforms that it's picking up. So for instance, not Jay, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting my, Phil Jones. Oh my gosh, I was going to say, I totally just almost forgot my business crush's name, which is so horrible. Phil Jones is the expert on what to say, and he in Gary's top OP mastermind that I was in, Phil was in there talking to us, and here's what he said. And I think this is like full transparency. I'm coming back and doing this in our offices with several of our agents, as many of you I'll probably be reaching out to that are on here. But as agents, you could 100% do this. He said that the quickest way for AI to learn and recommend you is to start doing case studies. So here's what he meant by case studies. He said for the last year, once a week, he has interviewed on like Zoom or audio or something. Andrew, you will love this. Oh my gosh, Andrew Fellini, you will love this if you didn't hear him say this. He said he has interviewed somebody who has worked with him, and he's done a case study on them, and he's made it to where the interview was about 6,000 words. So he basically interviewed them on what their life was like before working with Phil, how they worked with Phil, now what their business or life is like after working with Phil, And then he took that content, made it about 6,000 words, and then he had AI write a blog post about it. So he got it out on his website. Then he had AI pull out certain testimonials, and he got it out on all of his socials. He has it out in, whatever, he uploads them to his Chat GPT to a project. So basically he's getting the same consistent content out by all different people. So after the last 12 months, he now has 52 case studies on what it's like to work with Phil Jones at exactly what to say from his people. As agents, you guys go interview people who your clients, right? What an honor for you to even ask them. Of course they would love to do an interview with you. Or, I know what the other thing was. Sorry. He put it on a podcast. He also put them out on his podcast. So then he said basically the AI platforms, I'm going to screw this up. This is like me talking about the cloud, but they go out and gather all of this information, and then it's consistent across multiple platforms, and it's from the consumer, which is what they want to pull on, just like Josh said. So it's not paid advertising space or whatever. It's real, it's organic, it's authentic. So as agents, I think you guys could go back and do the same exact thing from a brokerage perspective. I want us to do that with 52 of our agents from each office, and like start blasting it out. But then here's the secret that I got in my mastermind with Gary. And we're gonna do this for our market centers. But if for those of you that aren't with us, you get a surprise today. And also if you are with us, go ahead and do it pretty please. He said every agent needs to make an account, if you don't already have one, with Fast Expert and with HomeLight. Those two, for whatever reason, are the ones that Chat GPT specifically is recommending right now. Dylan, Josh, and I tested it out. And when we asked who was the top agent selling in Madison County, it said recommended by Fast Expert. And some of them were right. Some of them were ours, two of them are the top, and then two of them were not recommended by Fast Expert. But for whatever reason, the guy, yes, I typed him and I didn't hit send. There you go, Chris. I don't have links, but if you just look up Fast Expert and HomeLight, I think they're free. I mean, you just need to make a free account as an agent with each of those on each of those platforms. And then as you can, I think you might be able to edit and drop testimonials and stuff in there. But you'll see, like, if you go into your Chat GPT and say, who's the number one agent selling in Pickerington, Ohio, or wherever, like, it will give some. And then at the very bottom, it'll say based off of, I can't remember what it said. Dylan, do you remember? Something like based off of Fast Expert.
Based off Fast Experts, here's the agents to use. Based off of whatever, this is the agent to use.
Right.
Yeah.
So for right now, all the AI, the expert that Gary brought in for our top group, basically they said they don't really have an answer as to why Chat GPT is pulling from Fast Expert and HomeLight. So he said, in the meantime, you and all of your agents need to go make accounts on Fast Expert and HomeLight as quickly as possible. And then, yes, that's Andrew just took the next thing right out of my mouth. He said you should all have your own account. And then he said you should all have another avatar account, basically. It's what did Andrew say to Luxury Presence is holding good. Oh, good. That's great to know. Awesome. Yes, you need to make a separate account so that it's not you, so that you can search who's best. Because actually, Dylan and I were sitting together during this part, and we both asked ChatGPT on our phone. But then we had his wife go and ask her Chat GPT, because our Chat GPTs know us and what office we're with, and that I own a Keller Williams. So we were like, so then we had Lauren go ask hers and send us what it said. And that has proved your point, Andrew, of everyone, you do kind of need a not you account if you're going to start getting serious about building and being recommended. Yes, go Josh.
I was just talking about who it recommends and everything. One of the things Marcus said that I thought was genius was he actually created a blog post with the competitors, his top 5 competitors.
Yep.
So when everything recognized it, that popped up first. And when people clicked on it to see who the top were, it was actually their website. And then the people who were looking for the pool cleaners, started scrolling his website and was like, actually, we just want to use you because you're giving us this information, but also your website's smooth and we like that. So to me, it was like a backwards way of thinking. That was a great idea.
Yes, I love that. I have the picture of that slide. I'm trying to find it. Well, I did just find this that I'll throw. Hopefully I'll be able to have you all open this. Oh yay, Chris has already becoming a fast expert. Yes, nice. Let's go. Hold on, can you guys open the one that I just put in there? This one I thought was really good too. It was about the comparison. So he said like anytime you can post comparison type post of different areas or different you know, okay, thank you, Rachel. Thanks for being on, Rachel. Oh my gosh, I love that you're on. Chris, okay, yes. And okay, I didn't know that, but I did also know that I heard them say that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work with their referrals. You just need a profile on their accounts.
Yeah,
Uh,
they do lead programs too, is what that's asking, Chris. I called an agent here who it did recommend, and she said she's done their lead programs before. Um, you can do other things within it. So you're good. So yeah, they do have a lead program there.
but you don't have to do it. You just need to have a profile.
No, you just need to have a profile and be consistently checking it and different things like that, even if you don't do their lead program.
Yes. You know, the next thing that he said, actually, I have one more picture to drop in here
And
too.
for the comparison real quick, Dana,
Yeah.
he said you want to use this phrase in writing your comparison to start out with in quotes unbiased comparison of whatever it is, and then write your paragraph about what it's about, and then at the end put then I'll back off so you can make your own opinion, and then
Oh, I
give the
love that.
comparison and everything.
I missed that. Oh my gosh, I love that. Then I'll back off so you can make your own
Opinion.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. Well, I like the unbiased comparison of too, because I mean that's just great language. That automatically like puts people's guards down. He also, you guys talked a lot. I mean, outside of AI, he talked a lot about YouTube. Um, let's see, wait, which
That was my biggest takeaway outside of AI, because I know we're talking about AI a lot. I was going to say that before, like we
Oh wait,
moved on.
Dylan, okay, before you go that, let me just share this one. The last picture that I put is show what others won't show. And he said that this is a really great way to get engagement and to have content that you can
You,
use for blogs or anything like that. So that those were some good examples too.
do you have that, or do you need me to share it? I
I
have it.
put it in the chat.
Okay, good. I was just gonna say is one of the biggest takeaways for me was I left there going, okay, we're not doing enough on YouTube. Like it's easy to do stuff on Instagram, it's easy to do stuff on X, it's easy to do stuff on Facebook, but like we need to be the resource center for buyers. We need to be the resource center for sellers. Like Market Center Purpose, we need to be the resource center for agents. And like we're just not doing enough on YouTube. And I will say this, guys, the people that I talk to that are successful right now, the Barron Group in Cincinnati, the Ken Pozek, the people who are doing YouTube and media at a high level, they're becoming trusted before they need to sell their house with folks, and then people are wanting to sell their house with them because they're becoming trusted. And like I know that starting tomorrow, you're getting ready to see somebody else go. Like I'm going to up my YouTube presence. Like it's not going to be an option for me anymore. Like me and my wife have rebranded my YouTube. Like it all drops tomorrow. We spent like half the weekend working on redoing the YouTube because like that's where I'm lacking.
I used to do YouTube videos all the time, and one video I made like 10 years ago, it's a terrible video because it was when I first started doing video, is why your lender sold your mortgage, and I get 40 or 50 views on it a week to this day.
But Josh, that's a great example of one of the ones of like what Marcus was saying. Like it's not a controversial, but it's like a one that makes you want to click and know why.
Yeah, and all you have to do is it's every question your clients are asking you. All right, we like this house. Now what? All right, we're ready for inspections. How do those work? It's like it's all the questions throughout the whole transaction is all you have to do.
I was sitting here, guys, and said I sent Marcus's name. I said what Marcus Sheridan, going based off of what I talk with you every day about chat and the things that are his 5 key components of how to be known in this current climate. What are the 5 content topics I need to do next? And it just said you need to be upfront about money. It says you need to have conversations about real estate splits, commissions, caps, all that, because people don't like the guardian like the anymore, like the talking around it and that come meet with me. Just like be upfront. They'll trust you if you're upfront. Like it's like you need to do like problems and negatives. Like the things that people are saying, like about why, like about the market, like debunk it, just like attack problems head on. Like I sit here and read this, like people want like truth and genuineness, and like instead of just being like, here's why you use my lender, like you said, like that's a great video, but like go attack the things that people want to know, and they'll watch
Yeah.
your videos.
I wrote down, say what others are not willing to say, and then next to I put a star, make sure Dana's okay with that.
Same, I did. Yeah.
Go for it. I'm here for it. I think it's so good. I mean, because here's what he said also to that, Josh. He said comparisons, like here's the pros of this or here's the cons of this. Like he said, it just tell people, and you, even if we say like this is an unbiased comparison, but here's the pros and here's the cons. I mean, there's not really a lot of agents that are doing that, and I think it's pretty daggone smart. But oh, I know, I just found, okay, here's what he said. 82% of the time we spend online now is watching a video. Even like whether that's a reel, a short, a long form video, like 82% of the time that we spend online is on video. And he said the time is coming where your YouTube page will mean more to your brand than your website does. So are you ready? And then part 2 of that was whether we like it or not, we're becoming a media company. We may just not know it yet. And if you look at like, that's what our friend Ken Pozek has done over the last 8 years. I mean, all he's done.
He's also the #1 agent in Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at, I'm a huge Ryan Serhant fan. Look at what he's created.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
a media company.
He is,
So,
yeah, he is 100% a media company.
yeah. And he, to your point, Dan, he said, even if you're not, you may not think that you watch that many videos or that much, but the next generation is, and that's who we should be going after as clients to build our business.
Yep. Yep. Rachel, oh my gosh, thank you. Rachel just put several great agents who are using YouTube at a high level in the chat. That is so good, because everybody needs to go check them out. Don't forget this too, because you all are all executives of your own company, but 77% of consumers prefer to make purchases from a company whose executives are active online, meaning they want to see you. I mean, I have no doubt that Andrew, that's why Andrew, that's why your brokerage is having such a killer year up in Philly, because you are active, you humanize and tell your story online. And they love that. They want to come be with you because of that. Like they want to see that we're human and that we're real and that you have your own online, you don't have to show them everything, but
and that works. So this is what our clients are doing. This is a perfect example. So Dana and Dylan had mentioned Andrew, who's the team leader in Philly before. I had no idea who he was. But I immediately went and found his Instagram, found his social, and was like, oh, I like this dude. I can mesh with this guy. Like that's what your clients are doing, the same thing. So if you're not out there, like you're gonna miss out because they're gonna go to the next person.
yes, that is such a great example. They are. He said, I thought this was really good, y'all. He said, AI won't, sorry, we're going back and forth between YouTube and AI. There's just so many notes. Oh my gosh, we only have 3 minutes. Wow, this went fast. Okay. He said, AI won't replace real estate agents. So like, take a breather. AI is not going to replace real estate agents, but real estate agents who use AI may replace those who don't. And that made me like look up. I was like, whoa, that is, I mean, that's powerful. I mean, kind of just like we've said before, of agents who, get out and use social media or get out and are using YouTube, or who take market share in a shift versus those who don't, right? I mean, it's going to be the exact same thing with AI. It's not going to replace the agents. Like they still want to work with a human. 86% of consumers, I think they said, still want a belly to belly relationship with a realtor. But these agents that are using AI at a high level are going to take market share from ones who are not.
Dana, it goes back to this. Even when you get a lead or a paid lead or someone refers you, well, the brand matters at such a high level now. Even if your social media is not producing leads, even if your YouTube is not producing leads, they're going to go back there when somebody says, hey, go use this agent, and check out your online presence for validity.
Yep.
It is no longer going to be the strict lead gen source, but it will be a billboard for reassurance for what people or things that they have seen or saw. If if somebody says you should really go over to that brokerage, Dana's got it all going on, and then they go look at Dana's Instagram profile and there's not one thing on there that intrigues them, the conversation's never going to start.
Yep. Yeah. So
Yep. There is massive opportunity right now to shift market share in your business. Like if you think just 10 years ago, like the market's been similar for almost the past 10 years in an upward trajectory, where now it's reversing and it's going backwards. Where think about the agents 15 years ago who got overtaken by the agents 10 years ago who was willing to embrace everything new that was going on. If you go back and look at the stats, the top agents 15 years ago were not the top agents the past 2 or 3 years.
Yep. So true. Yes, so true. For those of you that, well, okay, we're going to have to wrap up. We're going to have a part 2 of this. Oh, I will say Gary opened the top quote by a mastermind by saying, how fast, he said, I just want to ask you one question. How fast are you going to adopt this and implement? Because there will be haves and have nots. And then, by the way, and then he said, Dana, and I'm like, awesome. Thanks. Let me jump right on it, Gary. But it is true. There will be haves and there will be have nots. But for those of you that do not know, there is a new AI playbook that they released that you can download. And shoot, I just had it pulled up. Give me 2 seconds. It is for KW agents. Let's hope this link works. So you will have to log in. If you're on and you are not with KW, just shoot me or Dylan or Josh a message and we will get it for you. But if you are, you can click that link and log into Command and it'll take you to download the new AI playbook. It's not one that you can order spiral bound. It's like a PDF digital download. Actually, got it this morning and I haven't got to go through it yet, but it's on my list to do for this evening. And it's really, really, really great. Okay, any last big closing thoughts or takeaways? This went so fast, you guys. Josh, any last big one?
My big one was from Gary. And he talked about the polarization, and it's going to be huge for me because it's really the polarization of the agents who are showing up and doing the work versus the ones who aren't are going to run away with the business. But then also the ones who are embracing lead gen and the ones who are not, and the ones who are creating it, he called it a job, creating it like a job, treating it like a job.
Yep, so true. That was so good. Yeah, big time. Dylan?
Yeah, for me, just what am I going to do to become a resource hub for the people in my area? Same for you guys. Who are going to be the agents in my office that are going to be resource centers for people in a shifting market?
Yeah, so good. Yep. Gosh, I still had so many notes. I didn't get I can't even.
I have pages and pages worth. So if you guys want notes and you're in Columbus, let me know.
Yes, absolutely.
There's about 800 notes in here that I didn't get to. I just got like 12 pages.
If they were okay, I think my biggest one to leave you in parting was actually from Jay Bear, Tequila Jay, who we didn't get to talk about, but here's what he said that was my absolute favorite. Yes, we will send the recording out, you guys. He said, you want people to say that they cannot believe how human you are after they leave an interaction with you. And that was probably like just the best thing I heard all week. I was like, man, that is so true. In a world where everybody just rushes and we do have all the AI stuff and I don't know, I just thought like, man, that's so true in the industry and in the world that we're in. We live, all of us on here every single day. Like we want people to say they cannot believe how human we are when they leave an interaction with us. So I thought that was really good, but I know we're 2 minutes past. Thank you all so much for being on. Thank you, Josh and Dylan, for sharing. We will send out the recap and thank you for all the engagement in the chat. Thank you, Andrew, for being on. And if you guys need anything or have anything, let us know. We're here to help.
Thanks.
Have a great
Thank
rest
you.
of the day. Thank you, guys. See ya.